In a games industry full of bad monetization and development studios closing every other month, it can be difficult to see the positives in the world of gaming. But despite the seemingly constant flow of negativity we see every single day, it's nice to see something good for a change. And today, that comes from an awesome dad who helped his daughter play Breath of the Wild despite her disabilities. Rory Steele has modified the Microsoft Adaptive Controller to work with the Nintendo Switch so that his disabled daughter can play Breath of the Wild without a conventional controller. The Xbox Adaptive Controller, which launched back in September 2018, allows users to supplement traditional buttons and sticks for inputs that are more accommodating for certain disabilities. Your standard controller is designed to be used with your hands, but the Adaptive Controller can be set up to incorporate inputs from your hands, elbows, feet, or even your face, meaning that it can be configured to help with a number of mobility-based conditions. While the controller is a Microsoft product, it is not locked to the Xbox platform, meaning that it can be used with any Windows PC or a console if you have an adapter. When he's not being the best dad since Kratos, Mr. Steele is the head of the Digital Jersey Academy, an institute specializing in technological education and work placements. His daughter Ava suffers with HSP, or Henoch-Schönlein purpura, which means that she has difficulty with fine motor skills and finger dexterity, making gaming with a standard controller very difficult. To most gamers, a title like Breath of the Wild doesn't seem too complicated, but for people with physical disabilities like Ava, it is effectively impossible to play correctly without extra help. Speaking with Channel 103, Mr. Steele said, "We bought a Nintendo Switch for my daughter for Christmas and she's got fine motor neuron issues, so it's great because she only needs to move the controller up and down. But when she started watching me play Zelda Breath of the Wild, she wanted to have a go, but the controls were too complicated. Thankfully, Microsoft has a device that enables children with dexterity issues to be able to use custom controllers with big buttons and controls, so that they can take part in what otherwise they wouldn't be able to."
Using his technical knowledge and some extra parts from eBay, he managed to rig up an attachment to the adaptive controller, making Breath of the Wild fully playable for Ava. He documented his process on Twitter with multiple videos explaining the different stages of development, with the final video showing the fully functional controller hitting over 1.5 million views and 66,000 likes since being published on the 19th of January. The video even managed to reach Phil Spencer, Microsoft Executive Vice President of Gaming, who tweeted, "Incredible, and what a smile." The finished version featured a pair of bigger joysticks that can be controlled with the whole hand rather than just the thumb, as well as a series of different buttons around the outside which were assigned different functions. While his finished design may look crude, Mr. Steele was keen to create a design that could be replicated by anybody. Despite that, his incredible efforts have not gone unnoticed by those at the top, with both Microsoft and Logitech reaching out to him to develop an upgraded version. I hacked this crude looking low-tech device together and the internet seems to really like it. We've now had offers from Logitech and Microsoft to create a more improved version 2. While I'm going to take them up on their offers to create some higher class tech, the project was always supposed to be something that anyone across the whole world could use. What I still want to do is a low-tech version so people at home can have a go, but there's pressure on me now with these companies behind me trying to make it look a bit better, and who knows where that will lead. The Man of Steel has said there are plans to release a walkthrough guide for his low-tech do-it-yourself version so that other people can help their kids like he helped Ava.
There's no denying that the adaptive controller is one of the best innovations to come out of the games industry in recent years, but the device isn't perfect. The price currently sits at around £75 or $100, which is a large upfront investment for just one controller. However, this could be the last controller you'll ever need to buy because it should be compatible with every platform. But the controller itself doesn't come with any additional buttons or switches, which will then need to be purchased on top of the reasonably steep price tag, as well as an adapter to make the controller compatible with platforms like the Switch. The prices of the buttons on the Microsoft Store range from about $20 to $60, with an even slimmer selection on the UK store being between £40 and £60. Then on top of that, some people with extremely limited mobility will need to buy mounts to attach their new setup to a wheelchair, which can range from $35 to $155 in the US store, and they aren't even present on the UK store. But as I said before, once your setup is sorted, you shouldn't need to change it or buy a new controller ever again. If you're more of a technical whiz and need to work to a budget, there are plenty of ways to make your own controller switches rather than buying the expensive ones. Another option for some people can be the Copilot feature, which allows a regular Xbox controller to be used in tandem with the adaptive one. This means if someone still has a full range of movement with one side of their body, they can use that side of the controller and the adaptive one for everything else. Or alternatively, you could play with 2 people controlling the same character, with one person handling the standard controller while the other uses the adaptive one.
Outside of the adaptive controller, there are other alternatives for disabled gamers. Rocky Stoutenberg is a streamer who is tetraplegic, meaning he has lost the use of both his arms and his legs. But that hasn't stopped him from winning at games like PUBG and Fortnite on his Twitch channel, Rocky No Hands, and running his YouTube channel with over 40,000 subscribers. Using a device known as the Quad Stick, he can use his mouth to play the games, and he even claims no one is better at it. Despite controlling the game with his mouth, he even manages to trash talk the scrubs he kills.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I'm a Lourdes!
In a Kotaku article from November 2018, they spoke to several gamers who had disabilities. One key thing which was highlighted was that it was the games themselves which needed the most work to become more accessible for all gamers. There is still a long way to go to make games truly playable for everyone, but Microsoft's adaptable controller is a major step in the right direction. Are we recording this time?
Good one. Yeah, we totally missed it the first time, my fault. But anyway, this is just a nice story. When I read it this morning, I was like, this isn't going to get the right play in YouTube because YouTube likes your negative drama-filled ones, but this is just nice. So make sure you give it a like so then it gets boosted in the algorithm so everyone can hear about it, because it's great that this one dad just stepped up, used his personal technological knowledge to solve a problem for his daughter, and you'll see the video. She's beaming. She's so happy about it, and it's just really nice to see.
Something like this, it proves that where there's a will, there's a way. And this guy, I don't know how long he worked on it, but he's come up with a solution for a problem. So he's proven that he's ingenious, and then he's approached by Microsoft and Logitech, and they want to roll it out for more people. And obviously, considering that this is a very niche market and a very, very small amount of people who this would ever appeal to for whatever reason, the fact is that they still want to go ahead and roll it out there for people. They might not even make a ton of money on this.
No,
They're just doing this for the right reasons, and it's symptomatic of how Microsoft are approaching what gaming is like these days. It's them who's been pushing this kind of trying to make it accessible for everybody thing that they're going for now with the adaptable controller, and I think it's great what they're doing, and kudos to them.
And I think it's cool as well that he doesn't seem like this is just a one and done, because he's made it because he needed it and his daughter needed it, but then obviously Microsoft and Logitech have spoken to him, so he's going to work with them. But he's also keen to keep the low-tech version and put together this walkthrough so that if you can't afford the upgraded version that may come out in the future, you can just do it yourself if you've got the technical skills. But a lot of that you can just learn on YouTube these days anyway. The major problem with it is unfortunately the cost at the moment, because it can be quite a big upfront thing. But as this guy's proved, with a bit of nous about you, use your brain a bit, you can figure out a solution, and it'll all be great.
And in an industry where everyone's looking for the last dime, the nickel and diming you all the time, looking for different ways to take money off you, to try and take more and more money off you, this, which is seemingly a selfless type of thing that they're trying to do, which is promote people with disabilities who can play games as well as possible. I think it's just heartwarming, isn't it, Henry?
Yeah, it's just nice. I'm coming into work this morning being like, oh, there's this, that, and the other. Dying Light's delayed again. Oh, wow, that's a shame. But now we've got something really good to cheer us all up. And like I say, make sure you give us a like, because then it will promote it in the algorithm. More people could see it, and we can make everyone happy. That's what we want.
Plus, it'll stop this channel from dying. Yay!
And that's what really matters. But as well as hitting that like button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Leave a comment down below. Let us know any other positive news stories you've seen, because I like to keep up to date with these kind of things. Go on over to patreon.com/prettygoodgaming to support the content we create. I've been Henry. He's been Gaz. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. Disaster.
Take two.
Hopefully out of only two. The world of gaming.
Game world.
The in-game.
Coming to you. Can we just take a moment to acknowledge that his name is such a superhero name?
Rory Steele. He needs his own jingle, like standing on a building. Yeah.